my slides would advance, that would be really nice. There we go. So before we get started, of course, we always have to have our forward-looking statement. So like I said, mentioned before, this is a recorded session. So if there's any information that you consider to be confidential for your organization, you probably don't want to share it here. And then also, if we talk about any ServiceNow features or capabilities that are coming in the future, they are not promises that those features and capabilities will actually go into the platform or in the timeline that is mentioned here. So just kind of keeps everybody safe to bring that up. So what are we going to talk about today? So this is our agenda. We'll go through our introductions of our speakers today, and then we're going to move into our topic, which is a roadmap for mid-career change. And then we'll open it up for Q&A, where you can ask your questions and see how our experts here have managed to change their career midstream. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the introductions. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Brita Koch. I just recently celebrated my 15th anniversary with ServiceNow. Actually, it was in October, so I guess it's not that recent anymore. And I am a long-term veteran with ServiceNow, but I made a career change fairly early on in my career when I was planning to be a writer, and I was going to write Pulitzer Prize winning newspaper articles and change the world and wonderful novels. And then when I realized that it was very difficult to make a living as a writer, I made a segue into technology, and it's been a really great career change for me in many ways. So I'll turn it over to Abhishek next, if you want to give your intro.
Thank you, Brenda. My name is Abhishek Pandey. I have overall 9 years of experience. I transitioned my career from BMC Remedy to a ServiceNow developer and MVP. Uh, I've been a part of ServiceNow program, Rising Star and MVP. Currently, I'm working as a software developer engineer with M&S Labs, and I'm based out of India. Over to you, Travis.
Hi, I'm Travis Tolson, based out of Raleigh, North Carolina. I've been on the ServiceNow platform for about 14 years and started out in the Marine Corps for 5 years. And then after 2 more years in maintenance and production, I actually made my transition into ServiceNow. And I'm currently a developer advocate here at ServiceNow.
Yeah, awesome. We just hired Travis at the end of the year, and we're excited to board. So what's the goal of this webinar? We want to show you how you can use the resources on the community to boost your knowledge of ServiceNow and be able to make that mid-career change. So before we go ahead and get started, to kind of get a little better feel of who's with us today, we wanted to throw up a poll. And if you have pop-up blockers blocked on your browser, you may not be able to see those. So you might want to go ahead and undo those. We just want to kind of get a feeling for what brings you to the webinar today, what you were looking to get out of it, and see, what you hope to gain from this. So go ahead out there and type in a short answer, and we'll kind of talk about those after we get a few answers in there. So don't be shy. These polls are anonymous, so I don't get to see who put in what thing. And if you're having problems with the poll, let me know. Sometimes we have some issues with folks not being able to see the poll. So. All right. Anybody going to put an answer in the poll? You're all very super shy and quiet this morning. Are you all like frozen like me or something here? Or if there's a problem with the poll, please drop something in the chat so I know. All right, is everybody able to hear all right and everything? Okay, we have an answer. We have someone answered finally. Yay! Anybody else? Here we go. I know for a lot of us, it's kind of like a Monday since we had Martin Luther King Day off yesterday. So it is a little hard to get rolling here this morning. All right, so we've got 3 folks who have responded. So since we've been here for a little while, let's end the poll and let's see what kind of answers we got. So one person said that they would like to know how this webinar helps them grow professionally and achieve their goal of becoming a ServiceNow architect and MVP. Another person said they're curious to see what career advice we have, and also inspiration about what a dev advocate is doing. This might be something for Travis to answer, definitely. All right. And Sai, you have your hand up. Did you need something or need to chat? All right, so let's get going here. Without any further delay, I'm going to turn it over to Abhishek to start talking about how you get into your groove of making this career change.
Okay, so it all started 9 years back when I started my career in IT, and since then I started as a BMC remedy developer. I worked around 5 to 6 years, and then I transitioned to ServiceNow. So when I was going through this transition phase, it was for me it was a quite a roller coaster ride, because once I was a very confident BMC remedy developer, and when I was a newbie in the ServiceNow, a lot of questions arises and crosses my mind that whether it will be a good career options for me or not. What about the job security and what opportunity will be there in ServiceNow? So, but I was lucky enough at that time. I identified ServiceNow community at the right time. I choose the now right learning path from now learning, and it helped me to grow as I learned. So there was a tons of resources available out there in global service now community. There are experts available who were ready to offer helping hand. So all these resources and the people helped me to successfully transition from one technology to the another one. And as I uh, came a long way, I celebrate being a ServiceNow developer, and it give me an opportunity to recognize as a ServiceNow MVP, which is a celebrated opportunity for me. So to everyone who is watching this session and in a stage where they doubt that whether career transition is a good option or not, whether to adopt or not, I must recommend and from my experience want to share that you go for it, grab the opportunity. There is a tons of resources available all over the place, and there are a good expert and knowledgeable people who are ready to offer a helping hand with a lot of channel available, whether you talk about the ServiceNow community, now learning resources, help center, or the YouTube videos from ServiceNow developer channels. So go for it.
Don't be afraid.
Yeah.
And then Travis is going to talk to us a little bit about, so once you decide to make that decision, what are some of the obstacles you might face that would hold you back?
Yeah, so I mean, as far as obstacles go, there's a lot of different things that can happen as you're going through. I mean, anytime you're learning something new, you're going to face challenges. You'll hit a wall on what you are feeling competent with. You might run into issues with getting certifications or landing that first job. Any number of things can happen along the way, but one of the things that I want to, or one of the things that I always try to encourage people to do is stay positive. Obstacles, failures, mistakes, these things are normal. We all encounter them. Some of the most successful people that I've met on the platform failed their CSA, the basic admin cert. This is not uncommon, and we all joke about it and we all have a good time with it. But it is a reality that we face. Me personally, I failed my HR service delivery exam. I still haven't gone back and gotten the certification. So, that kind of brings me into my next point, which is that sometimes you have to recognize whether or not something is worth persisting in or whether or not you need to pivot. For me personally, I realized that my heart just was not in that HRSD certification. That application was not only presenting challenges to my ability to understand it and fully comprehend it, because I'm not an HR person by nature, um, but it also wasn't something that was exciting me. And so when I sat down to take the exam, I didn't do well on it. I had to stop, reevaluate, and decide that, this wasn't for me. And I've seen other people make these sorts of decisions as well. I knew one gentleman who really wanted to become a developer in the ServiceNow space, but he was having a real hard time wrapping his mind around coding logic and was, struggling to make meaningful progress as a developer. He still works in the ServiceNow industry and has become one of the best business analysts that I've met on the platform. So it's important to recognize when you should transition your skills in a different direction. And you'll hear a lot of advice on the persist side of things, which is why I'm focusing more on the pivot, because we all know about the importance of persistence and pushing through to overcome obstacles, and we all hear about those heroes' journeys. But understand that it's also okay to reevaluate and take things in a slightly different direction. There's a lot of opportunity on the ServiceNow platform. There's no one way to break into this community. And we're pretty welcoming of all paths. So make sure that you're spending time to find your path. And lastly, ask for help. Nobody goes at this alone. Uh, God knows I stand on the shoulders of titans that have come before me. So be sure to ask for help. Getting help is I mean, it's what we all do, and it's Abhishek and I both being MVPs. There's so many people out here willing to help. So you know, ask around.
And I want to go back to that pivot point too, because I think particularly in American culture, you're told you're a failure if you don't succeed at what you set out to do. But sometimes what you set out to do isn't what you're supposed to do. You have
Hmm.
reasons for going after that, or you get into it and you realize, like, I know people who've gone to school to become teachers, and their junior year they do their student teaching and they're like, oh my God, I don't want to be a and so it's not a failure if you decide to quit that path and go do something else. It's a realization that you had different expectations of what that role or whatever was going to be, and you realized you needed to make a change. So
Absolutely.
yeah, that's a hard one though, because there's that failure thing out there. Yeah. So now that Abhishek and Travis has kind of introduced, like what's the thought process and kind of what you need to be thinking about as you're making this career change, we want to provide sort of a roadmap for you with some steps of things that would definitely help you as you go ahead and make this career change. And so I'm going to turn it over to Abhishek. He's going to start talking us through some of these success um, items, and then we'll transition to Travis. We're going to try to keep this interactive with each of us chiming in. And, like if you have comments or questions, please throw those into the chat.
Sure. So let me summarize my transition journey by taking a help of a popular quote by Benjamin Franklin, who said, "Tell me a thing and I forget. Teach me a thing I may remember. Involve me and I will learn." So, I what helped me along this journey and relating with this quote is when we are transitioning our career, it is very important to gain the confidence of the new technology when we have a hands-on experience. What we learn and we implement, we will learn, and it goes a long way. So, if you want to have a confidence on the platform, ServiceNow platform that you are going to work on and get familiar with the UI, then I must recommend first to go and get your personal developer instance. It's free, available with the latest release. You can choose the one and then you can practice as you learn. Second, now learning resources. So there is a now learning portal which is again available to everyone. You go enroll yourself. There are a recommended career path from beginning to expert. Identify yourself that which path will work for you. You choose as a ServiceNow administrator, beginner, new to ServiceNow, or a implementer or a specialist. You choose the right path that will work for you, and there will be a few recommendations to choose a content. You enroll for those content and learn from them. As you learn, again there will be a questions arises. There will be a time when you will be blocked and there will be a doubt. So you want to clarify that. So weight is killing usually. To get those answers at the right time and move forward, it is very important that the right person will address it. For that, ServiceNow community will rescue you. You go, post your question, and within a short time you will get it addressed. Someone will jump into that questions and provide you the right answer. That will help you to clarify your doubt and move forward. Networking is also one of the key thing that help in the transition journey, because we when we interact with the people we will learn from their experiences, that how they move, how they how they grow in their journey. So it helps to relate with them, know the challenges that they arise and avoid them in your journey. So there are several service now events organized. There are meetups, there are snug groups, and other community collaborations where you can collaborate, you can join, you can network with them, and then grow your learning network area, I would say.
Um, so let's move on to talking about like how do you get that personal developer instance?
Okay. So if we to access the personal development instance, there are two way. If you are logging from the SSO portal, then you will see a developer program icon. You can click on that, and it will lead you to the developer program website. If you are directly logging to the developer program website, then under the profile section, you will see an option to request for a new instance. So I would recommend that you should go for a latest release version of the instance. Right now it's Xanadu. Coming one is Yokohama, I believe. So you can request for the latest release. It will be updated with the new features. You will see some pre-built plugins will be installed. So now with the Xanadu release, you will get a Creative Studio and App Engine Studios. Again, two more important features to explore. It will provide you an ability to create a custom apps and automate simple to simple to complex business use cases. So once you will request for your instance, you will get your login credentials and in URL. Keep it handy because as you learn, you need these credentials.
And I
Uh,
think you use your PDI with a certain frequency or they'll turn it off too. Is that correct?
yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
So if you are not active with your personal development instance for the 10 days, then it will be released and you have to claim it back. So it's very important that if you are learning and if you want to use the same instance along the way, then you keep it uh, active by regularly learning and doing some hands-on.
And that's
Also,
also,
there will be, yeah, please go
sorry, I was also going to say that one of the great things about the PDI is that because you can renew it, it's a great place to make mistakes.
That's right.
We used to
So
call
there,
it rebooting back in the day. So just take it back to baseline.
yes. So there will be no penalty. You can make a number of mistakes and correct them. No one is going to question you about that. So yeah, you can release the instance if you feel that I need a new instance, and or you somehow it get expired. Then you You can request for the new one. You can release your instance. You can change your user roles. You can remove the data, demo data, because when the new instance is installed, then there will be some dummy data. So if you want to experiment it further, then you can remove the demo data that is coming with the personal development instance and start with your own data. You have an option to reset and wipe it, and then you can manage your instance password if you are not happy with the temporary one. I would say then you can keep whatever is the strongest one, and then yeah, continue with your journey and hands-on experience with your developer instance.
All right, let's talk a little bit about Now Learning. And as I dropped into the chat, it's going through a rebrand to ServiceNow University. So just be watching for that to happen. And also the Rise Up and the Next Gen programs are being reimagined. So those will be changing. So some of the links that we provide in here might go to an under construction page or something of that sort as they're going through this transition. So hopefully you can bear with us and still get some really great resources out of this.
Okay, so as it says, learn, grow, and transform. So when you are start your learning journey and you are growing in your career, then now learning will be your friend, because there are good resources available, good learning contents are available for free. It is on demand available. Instructor led classes are there. So if you feel that you need some help of expert, then you can enroll for the instructor led training classroom trainings, where you will be guided through step by step uh, modules, I would say, and then you can learn from there. Otherwise, you can choose uh, different courses as a uh, at the start of your journey and make use of that. So there are few initiatives is taken by the ServiceNow that will help initially in your career. Like ServiceNow Rise Up program was one of that. If you are transitioning or if you are a newbie to ServiceNow, then you can enroll for this one. Whether you are a technical or the non-technical persons, this program is designed for every sets of skill set of people, and yeah, it will help with the self work through learning materials. So there are a few resources highlighted here where you can take a help of this one, and this will provide you more information about that, where your learning materials are there, forums are there for the rise of where like-minded people will collaborate. You can network with them, you can exchange the ideas and learn. Likewise, there will be an events where you will collaborate with them and again learn from different experiences. There will be a journey stories shared by different people, how they are growing, how they are learning, and how this program is helping them. So you can inspired by those stories and grow in your career.
And then there are some special resources just for women.
Great. So this is again a great opportunity for women in tech, whoever is transitioning or starting their career in ServiceNow. So ServiceNow is helping them with the all exclusive tech challenges for women, and there is women specific groups that is helping them to collaborate and then learn learn from the like-minded people, I'd say. So these are the resources here we are sharing. If uh, you can take help of this and then learn from here.
And there's more. We have the champion community.
Okay. So again, here in the champion community, there will be a expert and advocates who will be sharing their ideas. So you can join this community as the learning content will be shared. You can consume those content, and yeah, you can you can make use of that as well. So there will be a ServiceNow community blogs where different uh, blogs are available where continuously new articles, new blogs will be created for the upcoming features, new releases, or any event if any event or competition organized by the ServiceNow. So there is a developer advocate blog where regularly new content you will find it being shared, which is very resourceful to consume. Also, there will be a developer blog where ServiceNow Rising Stars and MVP will be creating and sharing their knowledge about different topics and different modules. So you can follow up uh, this blog and learn whatever the knowledge has been shared. Likewise, there will be a community blogs where a lot of good contents will be available related to the ServiceNow community events and initiatives. And then there is a ServiceNow official blog where ServiceNow specific resources, events, and the information about the new features, products, and collaborations or the networking event will be shared.
Okay, awesome. All right, we're gonna take a beat here and have another poll. So do you know about any of the ServiceNow challenges that are available for you to participate in? And so this is a multiple choice question. You can choose more than one answer of any of these things that you know about. Okay, it looks like Oktoberfest and Creator Studio, Women in Tech, Debbie's coming up. All right, anybody else? We only have 2 respondents. We have kind of a shy group here this morning. Gonna have to pull you all out of your shell. All right. All right, so it looks like some folks knew most everybody that there was a lot of more response on Hacktoberfest and Creator Studio. There was some knowledge about the Debbie's and the Women in Tech. Here we go. Got it. Yeah. So that seems like, oh, Debbie's is coming up. So Women in Tech hiring is the lowest, and the other 3 are running at a dead heat there. So that's good that folks know about these that we have available. I'm going to go ahead and end the poll, and then I'm going to let my experts here talk to you a little bit about these challenges that are available to you.
Okay. So throughout the year, there will be a different events organized by a service now in which you can participate, you can collaborate, and you can learn from there. So it will be rewarding as well because when you are contributing it, you will stand a chance to win a good ServiceNow swag and rewards. You will get the ServiceNow badges which you can brag about, highlight on the LinkedIn and other social media platform, and share with others. So the hashtag build with is a one challenge which you should watch out. It will be happening somewhere mid of the year, June to September, where there will be a challenge related to the new products that is coming out. So last year it was about the creative studio where all skills set of the people have collaborated. They built an app from low code. It's a low code app development platform. So you can build a low code app. You can showcase your development skills and then stand a chance to win a cool swag. Likewise, there is a annually even Oktoberfest. It's a month-long challenge happen in months of October, where again it's all skills of developer from beginner to uh, pro code. You can they collaborate here. There are open source projects and repositories. Last year, I believe 7 projects were there where you can collaborate in those projects, contribute. and then again for the successful contribution or the full four successful pull request, if it is submitted and accepted, then you will stand a chance to win ServiceNow Hacktober Fest swag and participation of this batch. Likewise, there is a Davis App of the Year contest. So it is a contest for those who is creating an app and ServiceNow platform and automating their complex processes. So you can, if your organization has built something like that, then you can highlight those applications and in this contest, and it will be reviewed by ServiceNow experts or the panel. And if it is selected, then you will get a chance to present it at the knowledge, and you will win a mega prizes. So here
We're just in the
there is
process of doing the voting for 2024, right, Travis?
Yes,
So
we are.
we'll see who's the winner soon.
yes. So for the 2025, I believe 8 projects has been selected as part of this contest, which and out of these 8, obviously 3 will stand a chance to win up prizes as position 1 and 2 and 3. For all others, there will be for the successful participation, they will get a swag and the bragging rights. Likewise, there will be a women-specific tech hiring challenges along the year. So you need to keep watch on the ServiceNow community developer blog or the community blog. Whenever this challenge will be initiated, you will get the information, you enroll for that, participate in the contest, and it will be you will stand a chance to get hired by the ServiceNow as well.
And I will say that some of these events get swag that we as employees don't get. So it is worth it just for the swag.
I love the Creator Studio mug.
Yeah.
So
It's one of my favorite
I
ones.
yeah, I started following up these space and then participating in this contest only for the swag. So I love collecting them. I have a lot of them. So I started following up like what is coming next, and I actively participate in this contest and win swags here.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Thanks, Abhishek. We're going to turn it over to Travis, who's going to talk a little bit more about the resources in the community. And we're going to try to wrap things here by about 10:45, 10:50, so that we have some time for questions. So be thinking about your questions as we're going along here. So take it away, Travis.
Yeah, so basically there's a lot of advantages to joining the ServiceNow community. Um, There's a number of blogs and the ability to ask your questions in the community and get those questions answered. But there's also there's a cool kind of scoring system in there, and that can help get you the the developer MVP. And the community rising star. So there are some awards in there for folks that are heavy contributors in the community. So it's a great place to get in there and get connected. There's a number of different links to the Now Learning or the is it the ServiceNow University it's getting rebranded to. And so there's a lot of great resources in there, a lot of great blogs, and a lot of great ways to connect with the broader community.
These are some additional resources that are available that you'll want to take a look at. I don't know if anybody wants to explain the single sign-on, because I know it has in the past been a little wonky.
Yeah. So once you have a ServiceNow ID, you can log into ServiceNow SSO, which will provide you a dashboard with all the options. Like you will get a Now Learning, you will get a link to service log into ServiceNow community, you will get a link to log into ServiceNow store, ServiceNow support, and so on. So it's a one place to log in and then navigate to all other platforms. That's it.
As you mentioned, there's a store, and then we also have the snugs and the SIGs and meetups. I don't know if Travis, you want to explain a little bit about those?
Yeah, so I mean, the Snugs are ServiceNow user groups, which are a great opportunity to get together with peers. There are typically some presentations that are put on, uh, basically showcasing new features in the latest versions. It's usually showcasing some of the latest work by other ServiceNow customers. And it's a great opportunity to have kind of many events throughout the year where you can connect with people that are local to your area, as opposed to like the larger knowledge conference where everybody gets together. The SIGs are your special interest groups, which is going to be there's special interest groups pertaining to different industries and verticals. So like you'll have your federal space, you'll have state and local, and different folks will get together along those different interest groups. Community meetups are a really great place to meet up. Basically, it's just a bunch of gatherings for folks in your local area for the community. If you're interested, you can also become a meetup leader. Or a meetup organizer rather, and you can put together a meetup if there's not already one in your local area.
And then there's just a couple other resources on here that might be of use.
Yeah. So just to add on this, I'm a regular attendee of ServiceNow meetups. So I would say this is a great place for the networking for everyone, for whether you are a newbie or just starting your career in the ServiceNow. So this will provide you a tons of knowledge and a place where you will get the confidence initially. So in my last meetup where in the Bangalore where I attended, there was a college grad who joined organization as an intern. He attended that, and I was very surprised to see him that in the early career of one's journey, people are aware of these resources, joining the networking events and getting an insight from all level of uh, experienced folks. So it will be a great opportunity and a great initiative by the ServiceNow, which everyone can make use of to learn from others' experiences.
And you'll find, I think, that the majority of the people in the ServiceNow ecosystem are willing to share and want to collaborate with you and help you, which kind of leads us to our next topic, which is networking. I don't think you can underestimate the value of networking, right, Travis?
Oh, absolutely. Networking is such an important part of developing your career in any industry, really, but especially in ServiceNow. Referrals, especially, are a game changer. If you're trying to apply to a new job or you're trying to break in, you really want to have referrals in order to get a job because a lot of times there's going to be a lot of people applying for the same job. And you'll run into situations quite often where the only people that actually get interviews are people who have been referred. It's very common. So, networking is so important. Having a group of people in the industry that you know and work with is such an important part of learning and in navigating the industry professionally. So, one of the ways that you can do that is basically first you want to get connected digitally. Connecting digitally is such an easy first step to move into. And so basically, there's a bunch of different ways you can do that. One is jumping into the ServiceNow community. If you don't already have an account, you definitely want to create an account and get immersed in the community forums. The second is the SNDev Slack, which is uh, kind of a more casual meeting space where we got a bunch of different channels in there depending on your application interests, and then some just for casual conversation. You've also got a number of live streams that are put on by the ServiceNow Dev program, and also by a number of the ServiceNow MVPs and other contributors in the community. these live streams are a great place to get into the community, learn some of the personalities that float around, and have an opportunity to interact with those folks and interact with folks in chat as well. And that'll help you develop some of those relationships early on. And then, as you move throughout the industry, it's a great way to continue to develop those relationships as well.
And we
So
already
then the
talked
next thing,
about.
sorry. So then the next thing that you would want to do is you want to start attending groups and events. So, once you've established yourself digitally, you've gotten connected initially, a next great step is to find an event that is local to you, whether that's the meetups, a snug, you know, and basically go out to one of those events and get involved. Again, these are great places to learn. You've also got some of the larger events as well, such as the World Forum and Knowledge Conferences. But those snugs and meetups are great places locally to get involved. Still highly recommend Knowledge if you can get the chance to get out there. It's a lot of fun.
It is, but the snugs and the meetups are going to be a little more intimate setting and
Hmm.
people closer to home. But even at Knowledge, you'll find people closer to home, or you'll meet somebody that you've been corresponding with on SNDev Slack channel or something like that, and then you
Oh,
can
yeah.
better connection. But the real important thing when you're doing networking is you can't just show up at these events, right, Travis?
Yeah, I mean, you have to be an active participant. You have to get engaged in these events. Uh, I have uh, I have personally been the person to show up to an event, sit quietly in the corner, mind my own business, and go home. So you don't get as much out of the events when you're that person. It's a lot more fun and a lot more engaging when you go up and introduce yourself to people. And folks in the ServiceNow industry, we're a friendly lot. So don't be shy. Make sure that you're introducing yourself. Ask some questions, and that also applies for the digital interactions as well. Post your questions on the ServiceNow community, respond to other people's questions on the ServiceNow community, and you might even get recognized for your efforts on those things through the ServiceNow MVP program and Community Rising Star that I mentioned before.
Yeah. And you can't overemphasize the fact of getting involved. And like I think we've mentioned before, you might not feel like you're an expert, but maybe you're an expert compared to somebody else.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm 14 years in and I still have people coming in new to the platform that are introducing me to things. So, you'd be surprised what you're capable of teaching.
Yeah. And I always say that anybody who tells you, and I've been saying this for the last, I don't know, 8 years, that anybody who says they know everything about the ServiceNow platform is a liar, because the platform is so wide and deep at this point. There's always somebody to learn from and to help
Hmm.
as well. And I know there's a couple other things that Abhishek wanted to talk about here as well. So I'll let you
Yeah.
take these.
So there will be this is a additional resource or whatever being shared in this session where you have seen over the now community there are a couple of blogs to follow. There are networking events. There are some special interest group or the industry group you can join. So likewise, there is a YouTube channel that is targeted and specifically for the ServiceNow resources. So you can join ServiceNow community YouTube channel. You can join ServiceNow Dev program. Here, a lot of learning content and series are there for the developers of all skills. Whether if you are a newbie to the ServiceNow and you are just starting your scripting knowledge, then you can follow JavaScript series where from beginning to pro level, you will find step-by-step guidance with some easy and relatable examples which you can try in your personal development instance and have gain the confidence. Likewise, there is a builder series for the developers. Now there is an integration series. So if you want to learn integration in the ServiceNow platform with the third-party system, then from scratch to experts level, again, there is a good content available there, so you can check it out to learn the integrations. Likewise, there will be a tech now and the webinar sessions posted, so you can follow that and you can learn from the other ServiceNow industry experts. Now, addition to that, there will be a women specific channel and initiative as well, so you can follow Women Now SN. The link is provided here. You can make note of that. You can join this uh, community and then collaborate with like-minded professionals and then learn from their experiences.
So there you have it, folks. There's quite a lot of resources out here that are available to you. Don't be concerned about trying to memorize all of them. We will share the deck with the links and the recording after the session here. But now is your opportunity to really ask the experts, because we're all people who have changed career midstream. And so we want to open it up and let any of you ask questions to any of us that you are, want to know how did we do it? What other recommendations do we have? That sort of thing. And this is not the time to be shy, you all. So come on out with the questions. I have a feeling they are going to be shy. You can put your question in the Q&A or the chat. We'll be happy to pick that up. Maybe while we're waiting for some folks to put a message in, Travis, you could talk about how you got relegated to the basement in your tech career.
How I got relegated to the basement?
Yeah, or the night shift, sorry.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yes. Yeah, when I first broke into IT, I didn't have a whole lot of actual IT skills, and my manager kind of gave me a shot based on my enthusiasm. I was like, I can learn this. It'll be great. It, it was not great at first, and I was terrible. So I ended up getting bumping off to the night shift because there was so much going on during the day that I was having trouble catching up with it. In order to uh, give me a chance, I had to move to the night shift where things were a little bit slower. And my manager turned around and came to me and he was like, "Hey, Travis, while you're on night shift," implied doing nothing but resetting passwords. Uh, would you mind taking a look at this tool that we've got? We'd like to make some changes to the form, and so here's ServiceNow Guru, here's ServiceNow Wiki. If you can figure out how to make these changes, we'd really appreciate it. And so that's actually how I got started on ServiceNow, was because I was an abject failure at IT.
Great example of a pivot. We do have a question in the chat from Sarah, and she's like, any advice on making sure your question gets answered or seen in the community? I mean, from my perspective, I know the dev chat forum is the most active and where people are most likely to pick up questions. You can also go to the forum of the particular product line that you're looking for. Like if you're, HRSD, you can go to that product hub, and there's a forum on each of the product hubs that are specific to that. But in my experience, the dev forum is the most active. I'd be interested to hear what you guys have to say.
Yeah, putting your question in the right place is really important. I'd also say there's a fine balance between providing enough information but not too much. If your question is too long, you run risk of people being not having enough time to sit there and read everything that you've written. But if you provide too little information, then it's hard to actually provide direction. So there's kind of a sweet spot there. And then the last thing that I can say on that is a lot of people get my attention just by tagging me. Um, Tagging people, I've had people tag me in LinkedIn posts asking me questions. Tagging people seems really effective, at least for me anyway.
Yep. So I agree with you, Travis, that identifying and then posting your question to the right forum is very important. So if your question is specific to the platform one, then you make sure that you are posting in that forum so that the right people will jump to your question and address it. If you are not getting any responses and you feel that you are running out of time, then you can definitely jump on to Slack channel where you can post your question and get it answered and the right visibility. I'd say.
So any other questions out there? If anybody wants to put it into the chat or you want to put your hand up, we're happy to answer any other questions. Because we'd love to help you out if you're trying to make a mid-career change, because it isn't easy. It does take some nerve and overcoming the risk aspect of things to step out there. But you have 3 examples of people here who we have all done that, and it's turned out to be a very successful change for us. Um, you know, I don't know where I would be if I was still trying to be a writer. I'd probably still be sitting somewhere making, $25,000 a year trying to make ends meet. No. All right, y'all, don't be shy. Come on. Any other questions out there? We
Yeah,
can't have
it can be real intimidating to get your start in the industry, but don't let that stop you.
I think one of the things, the myths that I grew up with was that you had to be good at math to go into any kind of an IT career. And I wasn't a math genius, and yeah, but I found I like languages and I'm good with languages, and a lot of people I find in tech are also into music because it's also about patterns, and that's what programming is about. And you don't have to be a programmer to be in tech and be successful. There's a lot of different careers, as you mentioned, that person who's a really good BPC but was not going to be a developer. Um,
Hmm.
a lot of people think being a developer is where it's at, but it isn't always. It's not always the right fit.
Yeah, there's so many different roles. I mean, you got engagement managers, BPCs, sales. There's so many different opportunities. You don't have, like you said, you don't have to be a developer to be in tech.
And that tends to be the pervasive myth.
Yes. And to add on that, with the growing platform and the Gen AI feature is included in this, then you will get a lot of help with the coding as well. It's like it will generate, you will write any statements now with the enhanced platform or in the this release or the coming releases, there will be a feature introduced where you will be writing an statement for your problem and then it will give you a sample code. So it will help you out
Mhm.
to develop a code and then get your use case.
Yeah, I always find it easier if I had an example script to work
Yes.
from, or one that I could just modify. That's even better.
Yes. So it's not really required to know the programming language and be a pro coder. Even if you are a low coder, that no code, low code platform is there. You can identify the problem statement and then work around with the different solution available on the platform.
Alrighty, well, we are 3 minutes from the top of the hour, and it seems like our group is not inclined to ask questions today. I hope this has been a useful session to everybody. And like I mentioned in the chat, you'll all get a copy of the deck as well as a link to the recording. It usually takes me a day or 2 to edit the recording and get that posted. So you can be looking for that in the next couple of days. Next week on our Ask the Experts, I'll have Willem Zeller, who is an MVP and recently minted CMA. who will be talking about how to implement AI and use it compliantly. And then I have a stacked February of events. We'll be talking about HR SD and the employee portal. We'll be talking about some of the new accessibility features going into the ServiceNow platform. So keep an eye out on my LinkedIn and on the community for the Ask the Expert series with our other topics that are upcoming. And with that, we'd like to thank you all for coming and hope to see you at another Ask the Experts real soon. And hope you all have a great rest of your day and rest of your week. Thanks for coming.
Thanks.
Yep. Thank you.